Hello, lovelies. Guess what time it is? A little bit late. I was having some issues with our secondary device connecting. And I'm going to turn the volume down on that one. You guys can't hear it. I can. And all I'm hearing is me. I hope you guys are having a great week. We're going to allow a few folks to come in. I think we probably got a phone call or two because we weren't live at 3, and my apologies for that. I'm going to turn that volume down just a little bit more. There we are. Hello, hello. If I can get a thumbs up that you're on with me. Today we're going to be talking about the 44C Bernina Echo Quilting and Cutwork Foot. So happy Thursday. Is this the first time I've been on this year? No, I did the Facebook Live for our block of the month. I got a thumbs up. Perfect. Well, then I'm going to go ahead and get started, you guys. I am April with Stitcher's Quest here in Fort Walton Beach, Florida. We are about 66 degrees right now, so it's beautiful outside. Today we're going to be talking about the Bernina Echo Quilting Cutwork Foot. And this foot was designed for cutwork. Did you know that you can cut with your sewing machine? If you didn't, guess what we're doing today? I have a flower that we're going to cut. I'm going to turn over to the other screen so you guys can see.
And what we have is,
I'm going to turn this one off.
Remove myself. So it's just this one. We have, hold on, if you want to maximize, can you guys hear me? Give me a thumbs up if you can still hear me, because it says my audio was removed. I can get a thumbs up real quick that you guys can hear me on the Facebook Live, or if I am just talking to myself. Pop it back on so you guys can hear me. Can you give me a thumbs up? Can you hear me now?
I don't want to run
the risk of having an echo.
Okay, thank you,
Nancy. I appreciate it. So what I'm showing you in the other screen is the fact that I have several layers of fabric. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 layers of fabric.
And I'm going to pull the screen this way so you can see that.
So we've got 5 layers of fabric, and we are going to cut it with this specialty cut work tool. Okay, and if you look, you're changing out your needle for this cut work tool, removing that needle entirely, and we're removing our thread entirely. We're replacing the needle with this cut work tool, and then we are using this 44C cut work foot to cut through all 5 of these layers. So put my foot on. Our amazing Bernina, we can do it one-handed, but my hand's in your way. And you'll notice that on the attachment, you have little numbers right here. And I'm going to check to see if you guys can see that. You probably can't. But on here, you've got a number 1, a number 2.
Zoom way in.
And you spin these numbers to change the angle of the blade for cutting, which is very, very cool. So I'm going to start cutting. I have given myself a basting line to stitch all these down to hold them in place. And now I'm just going to start cutting.
Ooh, I need to put
the proper foot on, don't I?
Let me see.
44C. There we are. So now, on my screen, you will see that it says my first cut in position number 1, and also my indicator has the number 1 on. We'll start cutting.
What am I missing?
I have Let's see if I can make this work with the other plate. There we are. Let's see if we can make this work. All right. And here we go.
So while this is cutting, let's see, yeah, just a smidge. So while this is cutting, it's going to go through a sequence. And you probably can see that. There we are. And the machine
is actually cutting the fabric. I have, like I said, 5 layers of fabric that this is cutting through. You can cut up to 8 layers of fabric.
And then you can have stabilizers
on the back of these as well. So with this machine, you can cut using that 44C foot. Now, also, this foot is not just for using the cutwork tool either.
This is for echo coating.
And I have brought in
a piece of fabric to quilt on
after this is finished,
or after this is finished cutting, to show you
how that's going to.
There's a slight echo
right now.
Okay.
I'm going to turn this off. And move here. Let's see. So we are finished with that first cut.
And I don't know if
you guys could hear me. I turned the primary screen off
just to do
the cutting. So let me know if you can hear me.
I am going to
Now turn my number to number 2, and that
spins the blade
about 15 to 30 degrees,
and it will now
cut everything that it needs to cut in that number 2 setting. I'm going to turn myself off again for this primary.
So there's not an echo. Hello guys.
Hello guys.
I'm going to pop it to that
third position.
Yeah, let it go. Just got about 2 more minutes and one more section to cut.
So your cutwork tool uses 4 different blade settings to cut.
Almost there.
We've got one more
Progression
with the cut work.
for this
But it's less than a minute of stitching, it said, or less than a minute of cutting.
and
And then what we'll do is we will go through and, so here's my last one, number 4.
We're
We're
going
going
to
to have that cut through. You guys can see our setup back here with this beautiful Urbanology quilt behind me.
That's one of our
block of months. And then the camera set up.
Work around what
We
we have.
have to work around, don't we? Now the next thing I'm going to show is I'm going to show quilting
And talk about
how
you can quilt
using this foot.
And some of the
Things that are wonderful about this foot is that
it will not
not get caught underneath your fabric when you're quilting.
So sometimes
If you're using a number 24 foot and you come too close to the edge, the foot is small, and what will happen is it'll get caught underneath your fabric. Almost finished.
I can't wait to show
show you this. This is so exciting. The fact that you can cut with your sewing machine,
That's really incredible. So what kind of questions
do you guys have?
Anything for us today?
We still have our big sale going on. Our embroidery designs are 30% off. Our stabilizers, I think, are 25% off, if I'm not mistaken. I'll need to check on that one. I'm going to turn this view off right now, and I'm going to come back to you.
On this one. So I finished that. And here's what it looks like at the end. And what I do is I just pop these out. Now, here we are. Will it? Here we are. So it's cut with our machine. Here we are. So you can see that flower. Okay. It did cut through 5 layers. So my learning on this one should have been that I should have stabilized these. So put a fusible woven on the back. But look at this. Okay. And then here is my fabric that I cut through. This is the center. And then here's my fabrics that I cut through. So next time I do this demo, I will stabilize each of my fabrics because it did cut through. It's just a little fuzzy. So I'll take an extra time next time and stabilize. But look at what you can do. You can cut. This is not an easy design. This is a very intricate design. You can cut it with your machine. All right. So the next thing we're going to talk about, give me a thumbs up if you think that's pretty cool. The next thing we're going to talk about is using that foot for quilting. And what I love about this foot is that it has these concentric circles around the inside. And so because it's a clear foot, you can see how far apart your designs are when you are quilting. And not only that, it won't get caught underneath your fabric. Let's see what else. It'll help gauge the distance between your quilted lines. The base keeps the edge of your fabric from catching. It has a clear sole, which allows visibility. It's wonderful for raw edge free motion quilting. Okay. And so I wanted to cut these to show you that I can quilt these using that foot, and it's going to be beautiful at the end. Okay. All right. So I'm going to do a little juggling. I'm going to remove my cut work tool. And here's the cut work tool. Let's go the other way. And you can see that it's got little numbers that correspond with the angle of the blade. Okay. So I'm going to put that back in my little handy dandy cut work toolbox. Just here. It's got a little holder for it. And then I am going to put my foot back on my machine, and I am also going to put my needle back in the holder and rethread my machine. Okay? So instead of doing that here, I'm just going to do it from right here, right now. Pop this needle in. Tighten that needle. And one of the things that I wanted to talk to you about, oh, got a question. Oh, thank you. Do you need the Cutwork software to use that foot? No, you don't, Nancy. There are designs from OESD that include Cutwork on it. Now, your caveat to that is that you cannot modify those designs. They have to be used as is. So no sizing, no changing it at all, but you don't necessarily need the software in order to utilize that foot with your embroidery designs. Now, here's another cool thing is if you do want to use the software, now you can digitize any design that you want. And in class, I'll say that creativity is in here. Wherever this takes you is what you can create. And so it's going to be limitless with the software. With an embroidery, a pre-purchased embroidery, you will have some limitations without any kind of sizing. Great question, Nancy. If you guys go to our website, stitchersquest.com, and scroll down to the bottom, we have an affiliate link for our OESD and Scissortail stitches, so where we would get the credit for the purchase. And if you go into that affiliate link and do a search for Cutwork, you're going to see hundreds of different designs that you can purchase and cut without having to have a software. So how much is this fancy little foot? Unfortunately, I can't say prices for Bernina stuff online. So I am happy to send you a message to let you know, but this foot for the month is 25% off. Now, new machine owners through Stitchers Quest get a little coupon for a year for 20% off of Bernina products, not machines, but Bernina accessories and notions for a year. But this actually has 25%, so that's a better discount for you. So we would love to have you come in. We would love to do a demo for you so you can see it face to face. So come on in and see us. All right. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about that I really love now is this silk finish cotton. It is a Mettler. Let me make sure. Yep. Mettler brand silk finish cotton in a 40 weight. And it's lovely. It's super chunky, and your stitches really stand out if what you're wanting is the quilting to show. Now let's see if I can pull this forward. So this is some practice. You see my feathers need some work. But you can really see the stitches using this 40 weight thread. So that's what I'm going to use to raw edge applique this flower that I just cut out. So I'm going to just pop that on my machine, or pop that on my fabric. I'll pop over here. I'm going to thread up my 40 weight silk finish cotton. Put my needle back in. Good. Kind of need that. I am sewing today on a Bernina 590 plus. So this is the one I affectionately call Baby Bear, if you've ever talked to me. I'm also going to, let me pop this down so you can see what I'm doing exactly. I'm going to take off my module. I'm finished with that now. So super easy. Just pull this. And I've got my Vanna over here who's helping me. My mom's in town. And so she's watching me talk. All right. And then I'm going to put my slide-on table on. And I'm going to put a slider. Now this is a Supreme slider. I got a big one. It's a little bit old. And I have cut more out of mine because at home I have a sit-down long arm that has 2 BSRs. So I need a bigger space. But you can get this king size slider, Supreme slider. Let me see. There we are. Supreme slider. And you can get a So Steady glider. Let me see. So Steady glider, which is a little bit smaller. But what it's helping you with is that resistance that the quilt is going to give you while it's sliding across the surface. Another thing that I love are my gloves. This is what I have always used before, and they work fabulous. But you'll always see my pointer finger tip I cut out, so that way I can use my touchscreen capabilities. Otherwise, you can't. I've recently started trying these, and that's what I'm going to use to show quilting today. And I like them because I get sweaty hands, so this kind of keeps me from having sweaty hands. We also have these little gripperoos. So for free motion quilting, we got you covered, okay? We don't have a So Steady table for this machine for the floor, but you can always get an acrylic or So Steady table. From us, you can order, and it takes about 6 to 8 weeks to come in, but we can get one for every machine out there. You got a Little Singer, we got you covered. You've got any other brands, we've got you covered. And then we got you covered for Bernina as well. All right, so here are these handy dandy little gloves. And gripper side towards your palm. I'll pop these nifty little things on. And see, look, here it is. I'm not going to get sweaty hands. And I still have my fingers to use touchscreens. I always quilt at home with my Audible going, so I always have a book going. I have to be careful of how involved I get in this book because sometimes, oh shoot, now I have to pick out threads. But what kind of things do you guys do when you're quilting? Do you listen to music? Do you listen to books? Or do you just enjoy time in your head? Let me know. So I'm going to put my slider on. And I'm going to drop my feed dogs. Pop over here. Drop my feed dogs. And I am going to, I'm sticking. There we are. Let's try those non-stick hands. There we are. Fabulous. Okay. Now I'm going to try to turn you over to the other computer. I listen to you tell me. We do that, don't we, Nancy? Okay, so I am going to turn over to the phone so you guys can get a closer view. Please let me know in the comments if you can hear me because I am going to be talking, but it's telling me that I don't have audio, okay? So I'm going to remove it.
Come on, Mama. All right, here we are. So here we are. Let me know in the comments if you can hear me. Over.
Add to stream. Here we are.
Okay, so let me know if you can hear me. Hopefully there's not an echo. So what these grippers allow me to do is it allows me to hold this fabric. Now I'm going to do a needle up and a needle down.
Right here. And then I'm
going to pull that fabric
fabric
or that bobbin thread up.
There we are.
Let's try that again.
Okay. Now I can pull.
Pull that bobbin thread.
There we are. Let's get under there.
Pull that bobbin thread.
I love
The Tula tweezers for this, but I sure did forget them today.
All right. Drop my foot.
Drop my needle. And I am just going to stitch. Oh, I need to.
Oh, let me get out.
Let me get it back in my sewing.
You
I'm
gotta
in
be
the right section, April.
All right.
So now I'm where I need to be. Let me push this around just a smidge more. Let's see if you guys can hear me.
See what I'm seeing?
And let's get you squared away.
Here they are.
All right. So I've got my 44C.
I
I am going to turn back to my 9mm because that's what I have in. I'm just going to do a straight stitch, and I've got my feed dogs down,
and I am
just going to sew.
And so with
With this,
I need
to push the fabric because the feed dogs are not working. Right?
right
Now, here's something I want you to see. Is my fabric got pulled over my foot. So I'm just going to pop that back in there with my other foot. And I am going to slowly start quilting that design. And so I wanted to tell you how amazing this foot is for your art quilts. And I am using a really bright in-your-face thread right now because I want you to be able to see these stitches. All right, I'm going to take a breather. We just had a ruler work class the other day, and that was one of the things I always told people is you got to remember to breathe when you're quilting. If not, you're not going to be quilting for long. And you don't want those shoulders up by your elbows. And you just match your threads to, I'm going to use my scissor to cut it, but pull this out and show you. Now, can you guys hear me?
hopefully. Here we are.
So this is just my first little tack down, and now I'm going to come around those edges. But imagine how incredible this would look with your art quilts. So putting different little designs in your art quilts and in your fabric. And I am using those circles to see how far away I need to be. Take a breath, put my shoulders out of my ears, and quilt a little bit more. Let's go. Okay, so this piece is now secure. And if I wanted to, I could change thread and use some different colors and put some different stitches down in here. I want. Again, creativity is up to you. You can do as much or as little as you want. And if you have those what if moments of, oh, well, I wonder what would happen if I do this, well, then try it. Because sometimes you'll have a hot mess, but sometimes you'll have something that you love that you want to try and you want to do over and over again. Okay? Here we are. Okay? Now, for quilting, we're going to do the same kind of thing. We are going to draw my thread, pull up my bobbin. Here we are. Reach under there, grab that bobbin tail. And I'm going to start quilting. So I'm just going to do like little loopy loops. And I can see, because of those circles embedded in the plastic on that foot, I can see and line things up and gauge how far apart my quilting is going to be with those lines. Okay? I'm going to remove this one.
Come back here. All right, you guys. So here is my applique, raw edge applique piece. Didn't bring scissors, so I can't trim my threads. But we cut this design with our silhouette, and then we used that same foot that we cut with to raw edge applique our design. Let me make sure I haven't missed anything. So we talked about gloves, we talked about the sliders, we talked about that beautiful thread. I wanted to take a moment to talk about Margaret's upcoming free motion quilting class. If you want to take that journey and learn how to free motion quilt, whether you know how to do it and you just want to get better at it, or you want to try something new and get out of your comfort zone, sign up for Margaret's class. It is a 4-part class, and from start to finish, she's going to walk you through different designs that you're going to do, and different things that you will create. And Margaret is wonderful. She's got a lot of tips and tricks for you. The dates for that one are 9 February, 23 February, and then 9 March and 23 March. We still have a little bit of space for that one. We are keeping classes small for social distance. So if you want to take that class, you need to get in now. Okay. Let's see if we have any questions. We don't have any more questions. April with Stitcher's Quest, I was happy to see you today, and I hope you have a wonderful week. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.